COVID.
Oh, swimmer's ear, huh?
That my doctors. No, I didn't. It's not even that. It just. I went in, and for the first time, I've always been told, like, oh, you have the cleanest ears I've ever seen on a patient, like, time after time. And when I went in this time and talked to my doctor about it, or recently, my new doctor, I've only been with her about 2 years, and she said, you've got water behind your ear. I'm like, I don't even know what that means. Basically, my sinus cavities have essentially like a permanent infection. Like, it will never go away.
It's not awesome. What is awesome is another live episode of Cardboard Conversation. Yes, that's right. Thank you, everybody, for joining. What up, y'all?
Yo! Hey, yo, audience. Thank you for joining us in our vertical format here this evening. We have a fantastic show full of all kinds of different stuff to talk about tonight. One of them is not Spider-Man. We're going to talk about it, but I wouldn't call it necessarily wonderful. As a matter of fact, I'd say we're kind of hitting a spider malaise, if you will. That it's one of the few cases where I'm actually very much on par with what the prof put out. I think it was this week, was it not, Pat?
Yeah, yep. Yeah, and I got to say, I definitely shared a lot of that same sentiment of I just don't really care about it. I mean, it's just it's another Magic the Gathering set. Cool. Who doesn't like getting new cards? Absolutely. I'll certainly give that a pieceman. But at the same time, it feels just like another hat set. Honestly, it's just themed Magic cards, and I
wouldn't go that far. Like
a whiff.
Like, because that puts it in the realm of Aether Drift, right? And I don't think that it's a bad set. Let's just put it that way. But I also don't think it's a good set. If there's as middle of the road ranking as you could give it, that's where I give it. Now, what's not middle of the road are the prices you have to pay to get it.
Oh my God. Yeah, it's absolutely ridiculous right now. What up, Matt?
Yo.
Yeah, I mean, that's actually one of the reasons why we made some of the decisions behind the scenes that we did, is the hike in prices. I mean, we've been seeing it over the entirety of 2025, the slow and incremental rise of box prices, not just on collectors, which we'll definitely touch on in a bit, but the bare minimum point of entry, your play booster boxes, are now just pushing more and more people out of the market.
Now, I want to be fair that the price that you're paying right now for Final Fantasy and Spider-Man booster boxes, play booster boxes specifically, that's not necessarily within the control of WotC per se, other than they charged a premium even on those at a start. That a lot of this is speculation and drying up the market because of the hype, and there is a hype, furious, fever-pitched purchasing frenzy for basically all things Magic at the moment that I don't think is warranted. I don't want to say necessarily long term, but even in the short term, when you're talking about for the average player's budget. And I've always said I don't love collector boxes. I am definitely in the camp of like a dual brain. Well, I don't even know if dual brain is necessarily in this camp, but I've heard several people out there. I thought Dual Brain was one of them. Oh, by the way, he's going to be opening some stuff. Can't remember what it was tonight at 8:00. So as much as I don't want to bash our own channel, I always support Dual Brain. But I like the idea of going back to a single box. I like the golden ticket hit that you can get out of any product. I mean, I'm not saying stop all the fancy versions of stuff. I'm saying that put them in as rare hits in every product. Now, if you have to keep both, fine. But the play boosters, even if you decrease the odds, right? Like the what was it, the hidden treasures or whatever it may be, fine. Make it commensurate with the level, the cost of the box, and still have, the collector boxes that are 10 times, 25 times more likely to hit the big hits. Fine. I'm actually even okay with that. making a tier of products that are there for collectors and the higher end folks. I'm okay with that. I am not okay with, like you said, the entry level product starting to get, oh, there we go, 22 months Twiddler. If I had a button to hit for applause, I would.
Right.
But you need to make it accessible, and you need to make it in enough supply, which is the problem. That even LGSs who are trying to run tournaments, trying to run Friday Night Magics, they can't.
And I mean, to Twiddler's point here, well, Twiddler's comment, and I guess really to my point, is $190 for a Spider-Man Play Booster box seems pretty expensive to me. And as far as $225 for a box of Final Fantasy, I don't know if that's really the price of it, because I just sold one yesterday for $259.99, and it's right now $259.99. So like it's gone up at least $100 since the sale of them in, what was it, May on TCG Player. They've gone up like 60% since then, and it's the cheapest, most entry-level product that you can get. And they've said multiple times that they plan on reprinting the shit out of the Final Fantasy boxes. So like $250 plus. If they don't get out a decent amount of supply, it's just going to keep going up. And I just don't understand how people can keep entertaining these price points. And
I don't know if this is going to be a hot take, but I feel like Spider-Man is going to fucking nosedive like a mother.
No,
I pause my camera while I eat. So,
I've said it before, and actually, I think even on this, here on this channel, I think Dual Brain came in and said he didn't think that Spider-Man was going to be the one to pop the bubble. And I don't necessarily know if that would pop the bubble itself per se on all the other collector boxes and the fervor that you have there. But I feel like it'll probably hit a turning point from here out. Like, I bet you, I'm going to tell you right now, I bet you that Avatar is going to do supremely well. But I think we're at an inflection point.
This is the first product I think this year that I haven't bought anything from. I don't want anything. I think it's overhyped, overpriced, and I don't want it. I don't want to be stuck with a $900 collector box that goes down to $400.
Right. Yeah. If I could have gotten one of those gift bundles, that would have been cool. I really like the art on those. The style of it, honestly, for it, I think the first time is that it's a vertical box instead of the normal horizontal style of the gift bundles. That would have been cool to get in on, honestly, just to like keep on my shelf. But for the current prices, why I placed the pre-order, there's no way I'm going to do this. Like, it's just ridiculous. It's $195 for that gift bundle. You can fuck right off with that prices. Like, I'm sorry.
No, I agree with you. And wow, so many things already. I didn't think we were going to talk this long about Spider-Man. So just, did I cut to, TLDR, skip to this point in the video. We're not doing a Spider-Man box break for Commander Raids. So I was waiting for one of you two to say it and lead into it. But I'm like, all right. So what this means is that you won't be seeing us do a box break this coming set release. Not for Spider-Man at any rate. We're entertaining the thought of maybe doing something different. But I want to start getting to some of the comments that we have here. We got good comments. We got a good audience here already, Coach and Twiddler, and great comments there.
Coach, I disagree. I think it's on a flop. This set doesn't look that good. It's way overpriced. It's just it's got Murders of Karlov Manor written all over it. I don't know.
Well, even that you can't necessarily say is so much of a flop, but for Twiddler's purposes, and let's be very clear and very accurate, Twiddler, with what you're doing, you're likely to not get burned anyways. Like, that's just your audience. If you were doing it for yourself, I would wonder if this was just for the Twiddler vault. Is that
I understand it
would
rebounded,
pay
but
for your own personal stock to hold on to? I would bet the answer is no. And as far as like your comment there, Coach, on the Spider-Man won't flop, I think that the collector boxes already were over $1,000, and they're already dropping, which is not something you generally see at this point in the hype cycle. So for those people that bought it at $1,000 already, this set is a flop. And that's a subjective term of what's a flop, right? Like, what are we considering a flop? And it's going to depend, and I think all of us here are talking about the price point, right? It's not, the set looks very mid as far as what's in the set.
I mean, there's some funny cards in it. Like, I think that there's definitely some power in the set, but overall, like you said, I think mid is a very good description of how I feel about most of the Spider-Man stuff. And again, it's very reminiscent to me of Adventures in Forgotten Realm. Cool, we're going to slap some names on it that some weebs are really going to reminisce with. I think they're going to hit some of those points, but by and by across the board, I don't think that it's a very exciting set outside of the It's a Universes Beyond set. If it wasn't Spider-Man, I think we would look at this even more poorly than we are
worser.
Now. Yeah, right.
It would be a worser product. But again, you know, I'm trying to define here what we're talking about when we say it's a flop and what our hesitations are, and understand that we're not talking about this in regards to what you're doing with the product, Twiddler. Coach, I'm assuming that you're a Spider-Man fan and you were a fan of this idea. And Pat and I very much were at the beginning of this at the beginning of the year. It was until they started spoiling the cards, quite frankly, that I lost interest in it. I'm in a little better spot than most, but let's talk about the experience of the average Magic player, the rippers out there, the ones that can't help themselves, that are going to buy the box at $225, and because the cards are so mid, I don't see the card prices staying high. There's really not much that they're going to get out of this. Even the special cards, there's just not a lot of big hits. There's nothing on the level of an Ancient Tomb.
Coach, yes, we can call it a flop. If the price goes down after people pre-order it, that means they FOMO'd. That means that they paid too much. That means that that's a flop to me. If the price goes down after release, to me, that's a flop, especially tremendously. I think this will go down. I'm calling it. Collector box will be like less than 500. I can get them right now for $746. I don't want them. This is the first collector product I don't want. It's possible that over the course of the next couple of years, it goes up. It's just one of those things where I just don't want it. I probably should buy them right now. I have access to $746.55 out the door, shipped.
We also have to talk about the experience that everybody's expecting to get from this. Like, if they just want a Spider-Man experience and they're big Spider-Man fans, and I think some of the art is really, really good, then is it necessarily a flop if just the finances don't support it? No. So long as they had a great time, that's
but at $900
value all the time. But like, this is definitely a set that I'm going to advise a lot of caution if you are concerned about the financial value of the product.
Oh, yeah. And I mean, for me, 100% clarity, I'm always concerned about the price of the cards I get in a box. And that is one of the things to me that denotes the value. Along with that is just, how juiced am I for this? I mean, Edge of Eternities, I'm a big sci-fi kind of guy. I really liked that whole set. Across the board, I had a really fun time with the opening. So there was a lot of value to it, because when you factor in some of the price of the cards I got for it, it seemed like it really paid off. The box itself being reasonably cheap. Matt hooked me up on it, and I paid for him to ship it out. So it was very regular market price. I think it was maybe $140 all in all. This is going to be close to $200 if I want to open a box of Spider-Man. So I better get $80 more value out of it. Whether it's
even for my sources, I can only get the play boxes for $160, and that's rare. Like, normally they're cheaper than that.
You throw another $20.
Final Fantasy was $140
the other side of the country, and there's so little ground there that I really better have the best time ever. You know, like getting a back rub while I'm in a movie theater having a good time. And I just don't see that in a sealed box of Spider-Man for me. And then if I'm going to try and hustle and move and make some money on these boxes, there's just too small a margin if things don't go up higher and higher and higher. And I just cannot see a box of Spider-Man going for $300 because that's about what you need to get the money back in it.
And again, you know, we always talk here about the differences, the different types of values that you can get from Magic. You're not going to get anything from going to Disney, which, by the way, I've been watching, and it's very much the same problem we're starting to see in Magic, that the parks are starting to show is empty. There's all kinds of videos you can go out there and watch about it, that they have priced themselves out of the market, that the cost of entry, the value's just not there for the average park goer. And it's beginning to get that way in Magic with these sets. And if we're going to see 4 or 5 or 6, you know, Universes Beyond, and they got to pay for all that stuff that they say they got to pay for with the, you know, the intellectual property cost and all that good jazz, and, you know, just increasing wages, blah, 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 blah. They're starting to price their core audience right out of the product.
And I mean, you know, Twiddler, he's mirroring the same sentiment there, is that with Avatar now outpacing and outpricing some of the Spider-Man products, even as someone who has a pack opening channel, he's having a very difficult time as well getting his hands on it. And I think that honestly, people like Twiddler and Lance are going to be doing really well with this set. People like me, I'm not going to buy any Spider-Man product. Not really. If anything, I'll stop by somebody like Twiddler's stream and be like, hey, you know what? I'd rather give you a couple of bucks than the Goblin King down at my local gaming store. And I think that pack sellers are going to be doing a lot better in some of these sets because shit's just so expensive. I mean,
I'll wait till you come visit me next time in, you know, 2 years or whatever. We go, hey, yeah, why don't we crack open one of those boxes of Spider-Man and in our Chaos Commander draft or whatever it may be. Hence the reason why I buy stuff. And you know, I am buying some. I'll tell you exactly what I'm getting. Well, at least what I've ordered. I got 3 play boxes at $149, I think is what I paid for them through Game Nerds. I have I think 3 or 4 of the panoramic scene thing that they first announced with Spider-Man.
Art
I think I might have got that through Amazon. I think they were like $40 or $50 a piece. I can't remember. And then I'm trying to pre-order. I've placed the pre-order. I don't know if I'll get it. I haven't seen any fulfillment, although I've already seen, I don't know if you've seen it. Yesterday was the first day I saw people starting to rip open Spider-Man collector bundles, which if they're not released, how do these people have the collector bundles already? The gift bundles?
Well, because the stuff's already printed. It's just sitting in a warehouse somewhere. Some people probably
I just
had
hate
access to it.
why for us is it going to be even like, I don't think we're going to start seeing it until October. Like,
did you hear what happened with Flesh and Blood? There was a set that recently, it's not even out and it's not even spoiled yet. Somebody has the entire set and opened it and put all the pictures on the internet. Not a single spoiler was out yet, but now the entire set is spoiled. So somebody got access
I don't
to
like
the
the direction that the Flesh and Blood has taken over the past couple of years. So I would use a lot of caution.
It's great to see everything get cheaper in the game, though. It's like the game piece army is getting what they want for Flesh and Blood. Stuff's cheaper than ever.
And you know,
okay, you're doing decently well.
But it's supposed to be a collectible. It's not just supposed to be a game. So I agree with Pat. Careful what you wish for, game piece army bros out there, because what makes it special, and we keep going over this over and over and over and over again, there are all kinds of wonderful card games out there that don't have any collectability to them. And they're not hype, and they're not going to have financial value. Sorry, that's just the way of things. So if you want it to be a collectible card game, you have to add some collectible value into it. And with the printing to oblivion that I believe that they're doing with flesh and blood, considering the demand. It's all relative based on your demand. That you're essentially hurting your product, especially long term. So, kind of careful what you wish for. Yeah, everybody wants to have things, buy them super cheap and buy low, sell high. That's my motto. All the Homer Simpsons out there that, think that that's how the economic model is supposed to work. It isn't. Usually it's like with Rudy. I'm not a big Rudy lover, but he is a big risk versus reward person. And if he buys your shit from you, if anybody ever sells to him, you're going to feel like you just went to a proctologist because he's only going to pay you for, like 50 to 60% of fair market value of your product. It's just that you're guaranteed to, have less hassle because he'll pay the shipping, blah, 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 blah. He buys stuff that nobody wants. Bathroom full of Pokemon cards, warehouse full of heavy bags. And he gets rewarded for risking his capital, right? And not all of us are going to be fucking Rudies out there. But the point is, that's how economics is supposed to work. If you risk your money, you get the biggest rewards. But guess what comes with risk, gamblers? Potential loss.
Yeah.
Right? So, again, this is a very risky set, in our opinion. So much so, like I'm already ordering the boxes. Of the three of us here, I'm the one that was still willing to rip it and do a box break for it. But even Nate, who's been gracious enough to go along with us on all of our box breaks so far, said, I'm out, not on this one.
Right?
He just said he didn't want it. He's like, I just don't want to do it.
Not so set. I can't.
He also even offered that he would do something for another set, just not this one.
Yeah, I mean, I'm on TCG Player right now, $185 plus taxes and shipping. If I was trying to get a Spider-Man Play Booster box, so it'd be $200 if I wanted that to show up in my PO box. No, like it just doesn't make sense to me for that to be. For that price, I'm going to start getting into reviewing GPUs. You know what I mean? Like I'd get more out of that.
I'll be honest, at those prices, what I would rather do is start looking backwards. Can we get like a Conflux box? Can we get I'd much rather open a Throne of Eldraine. I've never opened a Throne of Eldraine box. Have you?
Yeah, no.
And that really appeals to me. I think it's on point with flavor. I think it's got a lot of fun mechanics in it. It's got some powerful busted cards in there that you can get. It's got a great henge you can pull. That's more exciting to me than spend. And I think that would even be cheaper, or maybe even Ikoria. I don't know if have I opened a full. Yes, I definitely have opened a full box of Ikoria because I have quite a bit of Ikoria. But
yeah, Throne of Eldraine's $140.
Okay,
so that is.
If you ask me right now, what would I enjoy more? Opening Spider-Man to do a Commander box break for 140, even at the prices that we did, or Throne of Eldraine? I'd probably say Throne of Eldraine.
Do you mean Wilds of Eldraine or Throne of Eldraine?
Throne of Eldraine.
Oh.
Why are you saying, oh?
I like Wilds more.
Okay, but we weren't comparing Wilds of Eldraine to any of this. We were comparing it.
Shit, even for the 165 for Ikoria, like that makes more sense because you getting triomes and shit in there.
Well, just what I want to point out, beyond the financial value, both of those sets seem more interesting with the mechanics and cards that they've got inside of them.
I'm sorry, they freaking broken. Yes.
Like Mutate is just a lot more interesting than web slinging.
I mean, don't get me wrong. That Spider-Man, I was just looking at some video doing some Spider-Man review stuff, kind of waking up from my nap with a little MTG stuff, right? And there's one that has the web slinging for, I think it was blue, white, green, something like that. So there is some reasonably fun cards in the set. I think that it's mid is one of the best ways to put it. It's fine. Maybe give it a solid 5.5. It's a 6 out of 10. It is going to be very forgettable if it didn't start with Universes Beyond Spider-Man.
Now, I think some of
it's
the
the
art
worst
is great.
Universes Beyond thing that they've released.
Really?
Which,
More
Oh
than
no,
more
Doctor
than,
Who.
more
That
than,
was the
more than
Doctor Who's the
SpongeBob?
stupidest thing ever. I hate those people.
no, Doctor Who was fine. The
At me in the
cards were more entertaining to me than Spider-Man. I don't know what it is about Spider-Man. I don't hate Spider-Man. I actually watch the movies. I don't dislike it, but for there's some reason there's something about this set that I just don't care. Kind of like, I mean, Professor made it a good point where he was just like, I'm just kind of whatever about it. Like I don't really hate it. I'm
Yes.
not trying to really necessarily poo-poo on it. I just think that the problem is that people are hyping the ever-loving piss out of it and FOMOing it and pricing it so heavily to me that it just kind of makes me. Anytime somebody hypes the shit out of it, except for like Final Fantasy, that I understand the hype. I don't really understand the hype of Spider-Man. I get there's a lot of people that love Spider-Man, I guess.
Well,
I guess because I don't share that feeling, I don't get it.
I don't want to yuck anybody's yum. Like on the set design, like I said, it feels very mid. It's not start your engines, but it's not mutate. So, sorry, web slinging is very much like let's rank. Start your engines here, and we'll even say that's not the worst. That it's
max
like
speed or whatever. Yeah.
The max speed is somewhere around like a 3. And we'll say that mutate, it's not quite affinity, but it's pretty high up there at like about a 7 or an 8.
8.5. Yeah.
So somewhere between a 3 and a 7 is where web slinging is going to fall. Would you agree with that statement?
Yeah.
Okay.
I think web slinging can be fine.
Web slinging is somewhere between a 3 and an 8. Where are you going to put it?
Same with most of the set for me. 5, 6. Like
right. So the set design is very much, and 40 different flavors of Spider-Man. That's
okay. It makes sense because of the whole like Spider-Verse. There's all these, but it's also kind of bullshit. Like that's wait, hold on. Which Spider-Man are you playing? I don't know which one that does. When you say Sliver Overlord, okay, I know specifically what that does. It all says Sliver in it, but there's one part that's important. And that's a confusing set. The whole tribal.
I actually even disagree with you, even from a flavor standpoint. In all the different 40 spider whatevers, there's a lot of different variances in bad guys and other good guys. And to have 40 cards out of a 180 card set dedicated solely to Spider-Man himself, I think that's
I didn't realize there was 40 of them. That's crazy.
It's just too much.
It's funny. As you mentioned it there, I just thought of it. Just like in most superhero stuff in Spider-Man, very much so, the villains are usually more interesting than the hero themselves. And I think this is also a reflection of that in all of the really good villains. That was one of the things I noted when I was looking at some of the preview stuff, is that Electro, the red one, it's like one of the few cards that I'm actually like interested in getting out of this set, along with that portal to the multiverse or whatever. But it's like a new damn staple. What up, DJ? And Coach saying his son was wearing a Spider-Man onesie today, huh?
and I want people to be excited. I do. I think that it's healthy to be excited, and let's not take the wrong message from Pat, Matt, and I. The message is we're okay with the set. None of us are excited about the set. And all of us are concerned about the price of the set for the typical Magic player out there. I think that sums it up the most apropos. It is a cautionary tale to people now. We're saying it now. We're here, 20 days before release? We're saying it for all of you folks out there that are listening. We always recommend buying Magic that you don't mind being stuck with. Make sure at these prices you truly don't mind being stuck with it if it drops through the floor. Yeah. That's all we're really saying.
Yeah, I mean, this is the first, I'm not going to the pre-release. I went to Final Fantasy. I went to Aether Drift. I went to a lot of different pre-releases this year. Spider-Man, I'm just not interested.
Yeah, I mean,
I don't know. I don't know what it is about it.
Draft would be the only way I would want to partake in this. You know, some of the guys at work are getting back into Magic, so we did a Final Fantasy draft. And I think that might be something for me to get into, but that's mostly just so I can rare draft and just snipe out the good cards and then piss off and not even make a deck.
It's one of those things where, like, I'm sitting here looking at my source of boxes of where I can buy boxes, and I'm like trying to fight with myself of like, should I at least buy one of each just to have it and not let my feelings get in the way of what could be you should always probably buy one of everything is kind of how I was doing it. And I'm not doing that with this. And that might bite me in the ass later on down the road, I guess.
But here's the thing. Are you going to be more upset if you get bitten in the ass because you missed out? Or would you be more salty if you bought it at a high price and lost money on it?
Well, yeah, but here's the thing. I think no matter what happens, I think that it's unlikely that they will be cheaper than $750 even in a year's time. Even if it drops to $500, I'll be a little angry at that moment, but then I'll be like, okay, well then 6 months down the road it'll be back to what it was, and then in another 6 months it'll be $2,000 like every other stupid collector box this year.
I'm semi with you, Coach, on that. And at the play boxes, I bought them at MSRP, and I'm fine with it. But I bought them before, sight unseen, with not knowing what cards were going to be in there, and I'm still okay with it at $140. I don't, I think if it was at $140 regularly available, and we could buy it at virtually any source we wanted, we'd probably still all be in on it. But that's not the reality. That's not the experience that people are going to have with this, right? And you're going to have a whole lot of people opening this, and what I'm going to predict. If you think singles normally drop hard after release, buckle up, Buttercup, on Spider-Man. I have a feeling these things are going to go woo on a slide straight down the pooper. I don't think they're going to affect any meta anywhere. I just don't think that the set, even the Soul Stone, I'm at odds with folks even here with Matt and Pat. I disagree. I don't think it's a great card. I think it's okay.
Also, let's talk about the fact that this was initially designed as a small set, and then had a bunch of cards added onto it to make it a larger set because of the most likely. I think Professor had a good point. This was probably going to be a Beyond Booster type of set. I think that actually probably nails it. But
I think that the Aftermath, the March of the Machines Aftermath, has more exciting cards in it than this does. And I still want some of those cards. The Nissa I still want. I want a few of the cards that are in there. I mean, there's some good cards.
But the set didn't do well, so they most likely was
you can still get them for $60-$70 a box. And I think
that's what I'm saying. That most likely was what Spider-Man was going to happen, and they were like, well, we can't have that because we spent a bunch of money on it. We can't have it flop. So then they added a bunch of cards to it last minute.
What cards would get it up there to that level of even March of the Machine Aftermath? I don't see it in the set. I
honestly haven't looked at the whole set.
It's Sinister Six. I mean, a 7 casting cost sorcery that you have to have stuff that stays in your graveyard. Hope that somebody doesn't Bajuka bog you on the way there, and okay, kind of the same thing with the Soul Stone. That you got to pay $8 and get that Joker online. Okay, and you got to have stuff in the graveyard that people, they could sit there with a Scrabbling Claws, a 1 casting cost artifact that I don't know. I would be surprised if Scrabbling Claws is more than 25 cents, right?
Yeah, but it does. It's just a mana rock in between. Like it's not. It's not like it's sitting there doing nothing the whole time. It's an indestructible mana rock.
I agree with you, but mana rocks don't cost $100.
Oh yeah, I would never pay $100.
$140 right now for pre-sale.
Okay, that's my point. I'm not saying it's a terrible card. I'm saying it's not on the level of the price that it's demanding. And not only that, it is their marquee card for this set.
Well, but you also have to think about they've confirmed 100% that there will be all 5 stones. And like you said before,
and that's what I said. That's a hopium that whatever that fucking thing is that makes the stones just instant. I win the next 10 games. Okay. Like
if they have some kind of things where collect all the stones and and put it into this thing and it's insane. That I think you mentioned that last episode. That that
Okay,
would be
that's a hope for something we can't see yet. But that doesn't warrant the prices we're currently seeing. When and if we get there,
because FOMO.
Because let's think about this, right? Let's even say it's a baller badass thing, right? You got to have at least 6 different pieces, 7 different pieces,
right?
To get it online.
That's the math I'm doing in my head. Is like, okay, if there are 6 of these stones, and you're playing a game of Commander,
put them into.
You know how hard it is to get 1 card out of your deck in Commander? Imagine,
right? But if they're all still doing good things on their own, and you have to just get an extra benefit having all of them is the thing.
Yeah, no, that's totally fine. Like
it's not like they're wasted slots. Is kind of what I'm saying.
And I agree with that. I agree with that. Does that warrant $140 fucking dollars?
Well, no. Again, that's FOMO.
Right.
That's FOMO pricing. I don't think that's going to stay.
And so that's what I'm saying. I just don't see it. It's not singularly powerful enough, like in or even the Tezzeret, which I've already been up against. And yes, it can do some degenerate stuff.
Yeah, Tezzeret's good.
Although to Twiddler's,
I think Tezzeret
comment here. How is Spider-Man Aftermath not the name of like a small comic arc? That just sounds like, okay, Apocalypse has gone by and now it's Spider-Man Aftermath. Suits all
Which
torn
is funny.
up.
You know what's funny is we've spent 37 minutes on this topic that we weren't even really going to talk.
I wanted to avoid talking about Spider-Man at all costs, honestly. When I was looking for topics, I was doing negative searches for like not Spider-Man things to talk about.
Like literally, what I wanted
to say was that we're not doing Commander raids.
Yeah, I mean that's basically why. But like the topic, and I'm just going to sum it up in 30 seconds, just so you guys can go out there and look at it. Do we have that link that I sent you guys? Is that possible? Pull it up. I'm kind of discombobulated here.
Yeah, I got you.
There was a show. I don't even remember. Shout out to whoever they are. We can put the link here for you guys to watch. And I think it was like 17 minutes and 34 seconds in. They're talking about Cracker Barrel. If you're not aware of what's going on at Cracker Barrel, they have one of these. I'm just going to say it, and that lady can come after me if she wants to. They've got a woke CEO that went and tried to upset the apple cart with the Cracker Barrel brand and has caught all kinds of flack for it. Surprise, surprise, what caught my attention, if you don't know who Dylan Mulvaney was one of those people that caused Budweiser for their advertisements to massively drop in stock because, whoops, that's a giant miss from the people up top, not understanding their target audience. And that was essentially the message they were saying. This is yet one more example of a company that has somebody at the helm that is completely out of touch with their user base, with their clientele. And I was like, wow, if that doesn't express exactly what happened with WotC and Cynthia Williams, who was clearly lost, which broke me when she was at the Fireside Chat years ago, just completely out of touch with the product that she was trying to sell and caused a lot of damage. And I think that companies,
that's a lot of damage.
They're hurting themselves by jumping on the latest corporate bandwagon. Like if you guys aren't aware, there was a study done by MIT about the real impact of AI, and I'll just cut to the quick spoiler alert. It's not the magic pixie dust for all these companies. They said like 80% of them, it hasn't returned any money. It's only a money sink, and they can't prove why it's going to help their company out. It's just,
and I'll be honest, I blame it all on that jackass that was trying to get 18,000 cups of water. He ruined this for everybody at the drive-thrus.
I'm just saying, common sense has left the building in favor of herd mentality of let's just chase the next hot thing rather than
for the Bud Light thing. I watched the link that you had sent. I thought it was pretty interesting, and it covered some business stuff that I follow. So it was certainly interesting. The same exact marketing firm was used between the Cracker Barrel folks and the Budweiser campaign. And in both of them, I mean, Budweiser, it's the king of beers. It's very bro. The frat boy thing is we're going to drink a bunch of Bud Lights. And they tried to come in and make it so that this is now something that like college girls are going to get into. Moms are going to love drinking Bud Light. Yeah, that's fucking stupid. Same thing with like Cracker Barrel. If you've ever been to Cracker Barrel, it's much like old white shit. You coming in and you're getting like a frosty mug and some grape soda, some like country style like chicken fried steak. It is
with
what
gravy.
it is. Like,
Everything has gravy.
yeah, and I mean like what monster truck rallies and like demolition derbies. It is what it is. Like you got to figure out what your market is and who you're selling what to.
I don't understand how removing the old man changes anything of what you just said.
It's not just removing the old man. They rebranded
the whole country store portion out of it too.
They changed the logo to be very plain Jane. They got rid of the country style appeal inside the store. They wanted to change the menu to be more like, I don't know if you've ever been to a First Watch. It's very bougie kind of.
Roblox is not going to be doing very well because they've got a lot of class action suits because they actively protect the pursuit of pedophiles on their platform. They have gone out of their way to stop FBI investigations of sexual abuse with children on Roblox platforms. I highly suggest that you spend any time looking into it because it is quite unsafe for children to spend a lot of time in there because a lot of adults spend time there.
I was about to ask, what the hell are you talking about Roblox for? I just noticed this comment.
Let's put DJ's comment up there. I'm gonna applaud DJ for the comment of the night.
the Jeff Foxworthy. Come on down to Dan Grogan's House of Gravy. And they've got the fire hose hooked up to a gravy machine.
Man, that's funny. That's too funny, DJ. Too funny, sir. And like we said, we don't want to yuck on anybody's yum about Spider-Man here. We don't want to yuck on anybody's yum about Cracker Barrel or Bud Light or Watsy. We're making observations of what struck us this week. And we got about another 17 minutes left here. And I got to pop that zit. I got to speak about the thing that's been, popping, it's been popping off for me this week that I've been reading into and watching several interviews about watching this whole debacle at Cracker Barrel and just laughing. Really, it's more of a comedy, personal, real live comedy show to me.
I feel bad. It blows my mind a little bit that you're investing a bunch of time into following it. Who gives a fuck?
Man, I love Cracker Barrel. Like I'm honestly a surprisingly large fan. Like again,
I mean, I've been there a couple times. It's
there's
fine.
Not like a lot of opportunities to go places. So it being like an event almost. It's like going to medieval times, except it's like, the Great Depression in America.
you have the wrong idea. I honestly don't care about Cracker Barrel. But what I find funny is corporate America and these wind-up dolls that keep making these decisions that are detrimental not only to their company, because they're just like Cynthia Williams, and at this point, corporate America, especially the executives, are just like trading cards. They come in, they're there for a short time, they get theirs out of it, and then they move on to the next. They go to the next Funko Pop and make it drop 50% in the price. It's a sad state, and it's, to me, that's where this story goes, and it touches me personally, even at work. We had some bad news this week at work. And that's, you're on point there, Twiddler. And all of this, if we sum everything up together, the overpricing of Spider-Man for a mid set, the bad choices for logos for Bud Light and Cracker Barrel and all, it's idiocracy coming to life, folks, like in slow moving real time. And if you haven't watched Idiocracy, you really need to, because Brondo, it's what plants crave.
Dude, it's what
I will give Watsy the benefit, not the benefit. I will give them props for realizing that the product that they released was bad for like Aftermath analysts or the Beyond boosters for Assassin's Creed. They pivoted, they changed it so that people didn't hate it. It didn't necessarily work, but at least for me, I don't hate it, but just saying, like, they tried to salvage what they had. From what I feel, I think Mark Rosewater released a either an interview or he talked about this, where it was designed originally to be a smaller set, and then they had to add more cards to it. So I think that alludes to it was like that kind of smaller.
Well, and here's where I'm going to bash them for that, when I'm going to disagree with this, just because I like disagreeing with you, man. And that is,
makes for better content.
Don't release a thing before it's fucking time. Blizzard used to get bashed all the time for releasing products way after their promised release dates. Like, I don't know if they've ever released a game on time or a patch or anything, but they do their best to make sure that when they do release it, it's proper. It hits well for its audience. And to speak to their success, WoW is still the top MMO in the world today, 20 plus years later.
Yeah, and it's not even close. I don't think anything's close to it.
So, you know, there's something to be said for take your fucking time, people. WotC, you release 6-7 sets a year. Slow down.
Yeah, and with video games, you can update it later with patches. You know, I've been getting back into No Man's Sky, and that's a great turnaround example. But you can't do that with the Sealed Magic the Gathering product. You can't look at March of the Machines Aftermath now, a year or two later, and go, oh, I know exactly how to fix this. No, you make a new product. You change the formula, and you make something new. You can't go back and fix that stuff. Yeah.
I don't say that it's all Cynthia Williams' fault, and I also wouldn't say that, like, I hate to say it, but the collector boxes that are not doing as well are in the Cynthia Williams era. The only one that's even close to $1,000 is the Commander Legends, and the reason that is because even back then, if you were paying attention, Rudy said it was very underprinted, right? Her biggest problem is she is the overprinting queen. You know, she's the one that flooded exactly what all these people in the Game Piece Army are screaming for is printed to the ground. I hate that I can't buy the product. It's making it too expensive. Well, her whole era is marked by, look, you could still buy. I bet MH2 is either at the price or below it was at release. Like, that's just.
Honestly, I don't think you're going to be wrong.
Huh?
I don't think you're going to be wrong.
But, you know, and so that Cynthia Williams did a lot of harm. I've been saying it for years. You're going to be hard to convince me that she isn't to blame for a lot of this. But it doesn't matter. Even if she made one or two good decisions, you know, it's like, you know, just because Hitler had a, you know, effective youth program didn't make him a good human being. It's all the other decisions that they make that are bad that you're judged by.
Yeah.
And that's the same thing. I'm not saying that Cynthia Williams is Hitler. Let's not do selective hearing out there. I'm saying that, you know, as the most parabolic example I can think of, you're not judged by your good things. You're judged by the bad ones. And her leadership of that company did harm that's going to be years in the fixing.
It's not surprising. I mean, because of her like corporate background. I mean, when you're at a cigarette
that was the whole
company,
point of this segment, right?
Yeah.
She didn't understand it. Hello, M30. Clearly didn't understand her audience.
Yeah.
Right.
I mean, you know, when you're selling cigarettes, you can make as many as you can because people smoke them. You know,
you always want to make more.
Yeah. And I think that not quite the same mentality when it comes to a more expensive trading card game product. And now she's moved on to what? Funko Pops?
I think she got fired.
Already got fired from that.
That's hilarious.
Because it's another collectible, right?
Yeah, I guess. I mean, I have one. So, like, you know.
No,
we're not Spider-Man.
We moved on to like corporate shenanigans. I was trying to get away from that topic. We have some others that we'd like to talk about. I don't know, Matt, if you want to start getting into. We got about 10 minutes left. There were some other things we actually did want to talk about tonight, and none of it really was Spider-Man.
Yeah, make sure.
Yeah, well, it's Spider-Man adjacent, I think, because it touches on a couple things that. So far, you and David are the only two people that I know that actually care about this. But the art of the cards, I have the question of why it matters. Does the identity of a game based on the art of the cards matter? Like, I know it seems to matter to some people, and I'm curious to know why. Because for me personally, I care about the art of the cards in the sense that, like, when I go to select cards, I want the coolest, baddest looking cards, like the badass cards. But at the same time, I'm still gonna play a card even if it has shit art, and it doesn't really bother me that it's bad. It's just people seem to think that like the people are ruining, the WotC is ruining their game by releasing these products that have art that they don't like. It's just strange to me. I don't understand how it ruins the game. How does it ruin the game?
Well, all right. So lots of things to unpack there, and we have to kind of tackle it one at a time. Number one, I don't care honestly what art is made for a set. I don't, by and large. I mean, other than that atrocity that was in Strixhaven.
Faithless Looting is a great looking card. Why do you do this to me every time, Bob? I mean,
It's so fucking awful. It's so bad. It's just an offensive card to look at. But it's not that it exists because there were other versions of Faithless Looting. Yo, long time no see. Been a while.
what up,
Been a
John?
while. But you know, having other arts that I can collect as a collector, because you're not truly a collector. Like, you've got a collection of things behind you, Matt, that are there for financial purposes. But it's not that you're even collecting them, though to some extent you are, because you have them on display, right? And that's part of, yeah, I've been seeing some of the stuff on Facebook there, John, and lots of sympathies. You've had a struggle of it. I hope that turns for you. All right, Twiddler, thank you much, sir. Valued member as always. But to kind of answer your question, it's a multi-part question. Number one, art does matter for collectors, right? That is part of it. That's definitely the appeal for a lot of the collector boxes, which, you know, I'm not even a big collector box buyer because I don't like the risk. I'll target cards if I really want a specific art at that point. And I like the value of it. But yes, art can matter for different reasons. I could give a shit less about googly SpongeBob yucking somebody's yum at a table, but I want it in my collection. I want it in my binder of neat, sort of not, uncommon cards in a collectible world where I've got things that other people don't have. That is part of the dick-headed part about having collectibles, is I've got stuff you don't have. It's not just that I'm a completionist. It's nice to have things, which is why I like M30, and I have it still sitting proudly displayed in my collection. It's something that just most people don't have because it's kind of neat. And people, when they can come see it, and in years future, they go, wow, that's really rare. I've never seen that before. That's cool. That's part of my enjoyment of collecting. But as far as like sealed collecting, that's a whole different thing that I'm still trying to wrap my own head around. Like, why do I like looking at my sealed collection? Because nobody else sees it. I just do. And I like collecting the boxes just to have them. But some people obviously care about the art that's on the cards. It's why Pat's proxy videos are so popular. So that's why people love whatever the fuck art they want. You, and to that point, Matt, you love having big boobas on your land cards. That's important.
I like having big boobas anywhere I can have them.
Okay.
There's no distinction of where. If I could have an entire waifu deck, I would.
And guess what? You might play against a table from some super liberal lefty that's wholly offended by the big boobas on your cards.
Oh, David hates it, but he doesn't hate it because he's a lefty or anything. He hates it because it ruins the game for him. He doesn't like cards that he can't recognize. He wants to be able to recognize the card without like if I just play a big waifu land, he's like, I don't know what the fuck that card is.
They're doing that with Magic in the 80,000 different variants of every card they come out with, whether it's Spider-Man or Magic the Gathering IP. You know, Jesus Christ, like trying to keep track of all the special secret layer artworks that are on cards, and get out of here.
Oh, I have a feeling David would quit playing Magic if we weren't playing Magic at our Thursday group. He's shown a lot of distaste for what they've been doing recently.
And that's up to each person to have to make that decision. And I would respect it if, he bounced and said, nope, this isn't for me.
Yeah. There's plenty of other card games that I would have fun playing. I'm not like stuck on Magic. I would love to still play Magic, but I don't mind playing other things as well.
Yeah. And we say it all the time.
How many albums are there?
we talk about that all the time. DJ says that some cards have like 16 variants in one set. Yeah, we gave up even trying, and we're Magic the Gathering content creators of trying to figure out what cards, where it's at, what you could buy it in, what this like. I still am not even 100% sure I understand the difference in most of the full art versus extended art cards that are out there. But somebody else asked, I think it was Lance. No, I don't think he's here tonight. Have we seen Lance in the audience tonight? Do we have
I don't think so.
A random study? Anyways, he asked on his Rip and Ship if anybody knows why some cards have the text like Wrath of God centered in the text box versus other cards that are left justified text.
Oh,
right. And you know what? There's those Final Fantasy cards that we shat all upon that just look like screen grabs that have the text box floating in the middle of the card. You know, like it's not at the bottom, it's like right in the middle of the card. It's like, holy shit, why is that there? So hell yeah, Overstayed Red. I'm all about putting my SpongeBob and my Spider-Man, Sonic the Hedgehog.
How have those Marvel cards done?
Huh?
I wonder how like Captain America.
They haven't done very good. They printed a whole shitload of them. That was a perfect microcosm for what we're experiencing with all this FOMO and why I believe that the collector box
$50
will not be able to maintain
just Captain America. No shit.
Yeah. What?
By now,
it's $50 for Captain America. Just the Captain America.
If you look at the secret layers, the most expensive one is Wolverine, followed by Storm, and then Captain America. If you look
best there is. Nah, that's only 34.
No, I'm talking about the secret layer.
Oh, I was talking about just a single, like just the Captain America card is 50.
The problem with FOMO selling is that eventually it's like musical chairs, Cryptic Commander. That somebody's going to get left holding the bag. Right.
Yeah.
If honestly, you care about the financial value, which I'm in a fortunate position to watch all this, you know,
three rings. All I care about.
Go around.
I said honestly, that's practically all I care. Like on all of my collection, I only care about the financial value. If it ever goes down in price, I'd open it just because
you're not a real collector, right? You don't care to have them to curate something. You're not building a menagerie. You are temporarily, so long as it has financial value. I'm holding on to just
honestly, like I was thinking about this throughout our conversation. If I could put on my shelves the same way that Matt does with his Magic the Gathering product, stocks, then it would become a collectible. You know what I mean? That I could display to my friends. When they come over, they're like, holy shit, you got a lot of British Petroleum, you sick fuck you. Like if I could display certificates like that on the wall,
print them out.
Honestly, I think that is probably a better, like that does more for me than having a bunch of like hopes and dreams on reselling stuff. And honestly, having to tape up those boxes and bring it down to the post office, I just don't want to have to deal with that much. Like,
and to be honest, this is because of the channel. This isn't because I like to look at it. It's
now me,
for the channel.
I like to look at my shit. Like I do. I love every time I come down and I feel good when I look at my shelves. So all those people that are like, like Pat,
I feel good because it's a lot of money.
What's that?
I said I feel good looking at my shelves because it's a lot of money.
You know, it's not really like when I look at it. When I look at it in financial terms, I'll be honest with you. It actually makes me more sick to my stomach on like, how the hell am I going to liquidate this? This is going to be a pain in the ass, and I got to run to the post office and ship it off, and then they got to deal with all that. I just like looking at it. That just makes me feel good looking, and I love it, especially like when we have an event like when Pat came to visit, or you know, doing whatever with it. That I get excited that I get to go rummaging through the stuff that I have, and that I have a selection, but I don't have to run out to a store, and I can grab something cool because I have 6 Final Fantasy collector boxes. The most expensive one I paid was $650, and that's one. I bought 3 of them at $450. I bought one at $500, and I bought 4 of them at $450. One at $500 and one at $650. I don't buy this shit when it gets beyond the price I'm willing to pay for it, and I'm cheap, guys. My Final Fantasy play boxes were $149 a piece. My Spider-Man play boxes $149 a piece.
And speaking of being cheap, I guess we're all cheap because it only takes 99 cents a month to become a channel member. Yes, that's right. For less than $1 whole, you can unlock extra content like our members' first streams that we do right after these. So go ahead and lick the click the upcoming
Click.
comment.
No,
You
I
can
say
lick that. You can lick
man.
the like
Hell
button.
yeah.
Why
I
not?
think that's a
If
better
on
way
your
to
phone,
subscribe.
see if you can get the tip of your tongue to get onto that comment that we just posted and see us over at our next members first live stream. Until then, any closing comments for the show, guys?
As always, thanks everybody for spending your time with us here on Cardboard Odysseys, Cardboard Conversations every Saturday at 7 p.m. Your time is valuable, and we respect that. Thank you for giving some of yours to us. And for those members, we're going to give a little bit more to you here for at least the next 30 minutes or so on the members-only stream. Glad to see you again, John. And it's the first time I'm seeing Overstayed Red, so happy to see new members all the time. Thanks, everybody, for your time.
Bye, y'all. This is Bob's favorite day.